Alright, what's up guys? VV back with another video. And in today's video, guys, we're going to be doing kind of like a little tier list. Just a little fun video today. I didn't have anything planned. Not a lot of big news going on right now in One Piece. No big tournaments to talk about or anything like that. So we're just going to have a little bit of fun with an OP06 West style tier list. Now, I do have the OP06.5 and the OP07 leaders basically. We'll talk a little bit about those, but this list is mainly going to be focused on OP06 and, in a competitive sense. So that's what we're getting into today. This is my first time doing a tier list video, so this should be a little bit of fun. Y'all bear with me if it's not great. And, of course, if y'all disagree with anything, excuse me, if y'all disagree with any of my choices, help me out down in the comment section below. Tell me what you think. All right, so let's go ahead and dive into it. So first and foremost, I have them kind of laid out where I kind of expect each thing to be like based on a leader and their performances. So up here at S, here we go. S stands for sweaty. We got Sakazuki up here. A stands for, let's do ambitious, because you're probably going to, you can win, but you're not running the absolute S tier decks. B stands for brave. You'd have to be pretty brave to bring a leader like this to a tournament, or bold. C, now we're going into the crazy area, more into the witty area, like just trying to have fun. Casual would probably be a better way to say this. Let's call it casual. Like more of a casual decision to make that. And D stands for just don't. Just don't do it to yourself, right? Have more self-respect than to play a leader like this. And I'm just kidding, of course, guys. Y'all play whatever leader you want to. But that's how we got it laid out over here. And again, this is in reference to competition. So the best way to explain it, too, would be if you're playing these top decks, you're going to that tournament expecting to X and 0 and expecting to win. And you might not win, but you have all the tools at your disposal. Ambitious would be like maybe you're going to go X and 1, but you could even win the tournament, but you expect to win most of your matchups. Brave, you don't know what you're going to get. It's possible to win like a locals maybe not a big scale tournament, but a locals, absolutely, depending on your scene and everything, where you could win at a local level, but you'll probably, it's more of like a 2-2, break even type of deck. Casual, I would not expect to win a ton of games. Again, it does depend on your meta. It depends on how good the players are at your shop and what you expect to go against. But I would consider this more of the casual route. And for this one, the bottom one, if you play these, you should expect to go 0 and X, right? Like it just is what it is. Okay, so let's go ahead and dive into it. Y'all know what you're getting into. Y'all know kind of the format that we're going with here. So first up, I'm just going to go straight down the list here, guys. First up is Ace. Let me make sure y'all can see it good. Okay, I think Ace is more in the Brave category. And by the way, there is no like, first and second place of the Brave category. It's like, no, you're just in this category in no particular order. So don't think I'm saying like, oh, this one's better. But Ace is kind of the first one here that I think is in the Brave category. And guys, I almost forgot. Let me say the leaders that I already have laid out here. Sakazuki, this is like an absolute top tier deck, right? It's getting the Banhammer soon. For Ambitious, I think Zoro is almost there. Zoro has the tools to win, and honestly, maybe as Sakazuki leaves in OP07, maybe Zoro takes his place. We'll have to see. For the Brave category, I have, of course, my favorite Black Yellow Linlin. That's where I put this leader right now, where it's like, okay, yes, if you have a very good pilot, you can be in this Ambitious category, but outside of that, it really is just lacking a little bit, and we're going to talk about other yellow decks that just kind of offer a little bit more right now, because that's kind of how Black Yellow Linlin plays. Or you can play more in the black route, like play more black cards. Well, then in that case, why not just run Sakazuki or like Gecko Moria? We'll talk about other options there. Blurple Kaido, I think this deck is always kind of like this sleeper in the format, where maybe if it got like a few more tools, it would be able to take it to the next level. But next level just being like still just kind of middle of the road. So some people might say this needs to be in the middle category, but it just, I don't know, a little bit lackluster. And then for the purple stuff, I got Shanks down here, or for the don'ts, I have Shanks. This is just one of those leaders that just has basically 0 support. Why would you play this character? Or this leader, rather. Okay, so then we did Ace. Ace, I think, fits right in the middle of the field. He's, with a good enough player, you can reach into the Ambitious area, but you just can't. I don't think you can compete against the Sweaties consistently unless you just modify the deck to something we haven't seen yet. Okay, next up is Hody Jones. I'm going to put this under Brave, and I might adjust these as we go on, guys. We'll have to see as I lay out more and more leaders. And don't worry, I will pick up the pace on this now that we're going. Now we've gotten, you know, the ball rolling. Odin, I'm sorry, this is under Casual, and this might even be under Don't. Some people have said that recently this leader's gotten a little bit extra, but no, it's just, I don't know. I would personally put this under Don't Do It To Yourself, but if you want to argue Casual, I won't. I understand. Blurple Croc is up here under Brave. Like, I think with the right pilot, you can sneak into, like, the X1 category and, like, maybe even sneak a local. Green Kid, this is now under, in my personal opinion, this is just, I don't know, somewhere between Brave and Casual. Because Uda is going to be taking the spot of the green deck now. And that's kind of how things go, right? With Blue, with Croc, again, this was a pretty brave decision nowadays. It is not as good as it used to be. I would almost even put this under Casual. But the fact that it has access to blue, which is a very strong color, it might need to go down to Casual. We'll see. Purple Kaido. I think this is ambitious. I have seen what this deck can do. I do think it has pretty decent answers. Yellow is a nuisance right now in the format, and it does have, on the leader's effect, a way to just trash a life card, right? So that is actually very powerful. And this is probably at the end of ambitious if I were to rank it that way, or at the very beginning of Brave. But I do think Purple Kaido is a little bit of a sleeper. Black Lucci, this is currently just Casual. You should not run this unless you're just doing it casually. Arlong, same idea, but probably closer to the Brave section. And I might adjust these as we go on, so y'all just bear with me. Okay, Red Purple Law is slowly making its way into the sweaty category. It's almost there. It's not there yet, but it's almost there. Purple King right now, this is a Don't currently. It saw a little bit of play. What was it, like OP04 or 5 at the end of one of those? But not anymore. I would say that Blue Luffy's actually Brave. Like, this is, you might want to consider that one. Okay, Red Purple Luffy, I think is ambitious. I think this can do very well. I think it actually can. Same thing with Newgate. It's not quite there, but it's close. Red Purple Uda is very much on the Casual or Don't side of things. We'll see how that goes. Kuro is more casual now. It had a place, I think, in last set, but not anymore. I think it's way more casual. Blue Yellow Ace is currently a Don't, but don't worry. And I guess this is ST13, guys. Maybe I'll drag this one out and we'll talk about it later. Yeah, we'll talk about that one later. Iceberg, Don't. Gecko, now we're getting into the sweaty category. It can absolutely compete. Blue Black Rebecca is just casual currently, but it might be under Brave, because it just, why would you play this over Sakazuki? And once it gets a few things, I think from EV01, I think it could go into the next level. Maybe not. We'll have to see. But I don't know. I feel like I'll get a lot of hate for this, because I do like Rebecca, guys, but there's a reason I put her on the same level as Black Yellow Linlin. These are some of my favorite leaders when they were released, but it is what it is. And like I said, this one might even be closer to casual, because it doesn't have yellow like Linlin does. Katakuri, sweaty, S tier, absolutely powerful. You get it. Red Purple Kid, just straight up casual. Red Green Luffy, currently just Don't. Green Bonnie, that's coming out later. Let me go back to that one. Red Yellow Bello Betty, I think is really close to having something decent, but it's still like on the verge of casual and Brave. We'll have to see. I might have to drop it down to casual, because I do want these all to fit on one tier. You know what I mean? I don't want there to be just tons and tons under the Brave category, but we'll see. We'll see what we have to do. Next up is Red Luffy. I think this is more along the lines of Brave / casual. Like, it's just right under, it's right under Zoro. Right now, Trafalgar Law is casual. Do not play this until Sakazuki rotates out. I don't think there's a point to play this, especially not until we get EB01 stuff and ST13 and, OP07 stuff. Rosinante has become casual, in my personal opinion. Some people might say this is more ambitious or Brave. I might move this one around, because I do think I think it's decent, but I don't think it's quite there yet for this format. Reiju is definitely up here in sweaty. I'll probably have more sweaty choices than most people, and that's fine. You can say what you want to about it, but I think it's up there. Doflamingo is casual right now until it gets what it needs in OP07 or EP01. I can't remember which one. NL, absolutely sweaty. Let me keep moving these down. Smoker, just don't do this currently. There is absolutely no reason to do Smoker when Sakazuki exists, because he has the same effect for free and gets to cycle a card and has another colored pool. Just don't even run Smoker currently. Purple Luffy is just not where it used to be, but I think it's still under ambitious. Like, it used to be up in the sweaty category when we had, like, in an OP05, when it was just literally, there was like a, you know, like a perfect triangle of Sakazuki versus Nell versus Purple Luffy. It kind of worked out just nicely, but it has kind of fallen down a little bit. Nami's up there. I know a lot of people don't like Nami, but with the right pilot, this is a deck that can win. It is a deck that can win for sure. Black Luffy, casual. Perona is up here in ambitious. It's not quite S tier, but I think it's pretty close. It has a lot of tools that it needs. Okay, let me move these out of the way. Magellan, just don't do this currently. Green Uda. Man, I'm tempted to put this in the sweaty category where it can compete against the best. I'll leave it up here for a second. Garp, don't do this currently. Sorry, guys. I know there's a lot of Garp fans out there. I like Garp too. I just don't think he's where he needs to be currently. Purple Yellow Crocodile. This is in the Brave category. So let me do some adjustments now that we're at this point, because notice we only have this many cards left. But actually, let me arrange these to see how much we actually have left. So Dragon we're not going to do currently. This one, and Jewelry Bonnie. Again, I don't want to do the ST13 stuff or the EB01 or OP07 stuff just yet. I want to save that for the very end. So y'all bear with me. We will put in the Sanji, though. Sanji, the Zoro and Sanji, that is. Okay. Hannibal. Lucci. Okay, I think that's all of them down here where they need to be. Okay, so we only have about 10 or 12 left, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Okay. So, let's keep going from here. So, Vivi is currently a don't, but don't worry, it's about to get what it needs to go straight into this, like, this middle category, if not ambitious, like the A tier or B tier, in my personal opinion. Sakazuki is a don't. Yellow, you know, it's one of those. Hang on one second. Let me zoom out some. Oh, it doesn't zoom this out, though. Oops. There we go. Is that where I had it? Something like that. All right, don't worry. We'll mix some things around here. So I would put yellow Lin, you know, just mono yellow Lin in the same category as black yellow Lin, because you can literally play them almost the exact same. Yes, Lin gets 1 extra life and can adjust life cards, especially later in the game. But black yellow Lin can just continue to gain life and has access to the black card pool. I put him in the exact same category. Ivankov, I just don't know enough about this one. I'm just going to put it under casual. I don't think it has what it needs currently, because I just don't see it pop up either. I'm going to put a green purple Dofi under Brave. I think this can absolutely compete if needed. Red black Sabo, that's a Brave spot right there. I guess it makes sense that there will be a lot more under this middle category than anything else, like these decks that are almost there. Now yellow green, yellow green Yamato I have under Sweaty, because I think it can absolutely compete. Blue yellow Queen, I think it's ambitious, guys. I think it can actually. No, I'll put under Brave, because I do think that one's pretty close. And again, I'll review all this at the very end. Don't worry. Isho, definitely more on the casual side. Kinemon, I think, is a brave choice. I think it has an option. Uda, do not do this to yourself. Blue-green Sanji, do not do this to yourself. Now, blue-green Zoro and Sanji, I'm putting in the middle. I'll talk about that in just a second. Yamato, casual. Black-purple Z is casual. And all the other ones we'll have to wait on. Okay, so let me see if I want to adjust this real quick before we go on. Because I might need to move some of these from B and C category around and move more under don't. Like, just, there's no reason to play them kind of thing. No, I don't know. I kind of like these where they are. I could move Rosinante up now. It makes more sense. Kinemon is fine. This is fine. And some of these I might even want to move down. Like red, purple, Luffy. I think it's on the cusp of, like, being able to compete and then, like, a pretty bold strategy, right? Like a pretty bold move to go. Okay, let's leave it here for now. Is there a way I can, like, zoom out? I wish this would let me. This is my, again, y'all bear with me, guys. This is my first time doing the this little ranking system, and it's not lining up the way that I want it. Is there a way to add a row? No, we don't want to do all that. Oh well. So we'll just have to deal with it how it is, guys. Let me zoom in one more time. There. So these decks up here, if I were to rank them in any specific order, I would say that Sakazuki is, like, at the very top right now. Katakuri and Enel are probably right below that. And then I think it's Gecko, Moria, and these final three here. The Reiju, Yamato, and all that. A tier, Zoro, I think, can compete. Maybe Kaido's more on the brave side. I don't know exactly how ambitious it would be. If I were to put it in order, I'd put it at the end of this one with Purple Green Dofi and Nami. Because Nami gets, I think it does get a decent searcher in OP07. That helps it out. Luffy, probably right around here. And again, I'm being a little picky with this, but it is what it is. I think Newgate can still... Like, that's where all the red decks reside. Yeah, this makes more sense, guys. So that's the thing right now. Red is a little bit underpowered currently, but it's about to get a lot of tools to push it up into the sweaty range, especially red-purple Law right here. But yeah, that's kind of where I have it. So you've got a blue deck. I'm just going to... Actually, it's really a black deck. Sakazuki, Gecko, Moria, they're kind of like these black decks at the top. Bunch of yellow decks here, and then like a blue-purple hybrid deck. So you've got quite a bit of stuff up here, right? And then even a little bit of green with Yamato. Then you got a lot of red down here in the A tier, and some green as well. Green, purple Dofi, green Perona, green Uda, and quite a mixture of purple as well with Kaido, Luffy. So I would say, like, again, I've talked about this before. I think the meta's in a very good spot. Let me just scroll down a little bit. I think the meta's in a very good spot in this game. Because whatever color you play, you can probably find some type of representation by just, you know, by doing what, by picking one of the decks you see up here in the top two, the S tier and the A tier stuff. As far as Brave goes, this is, you know, more along the lines of, you know, you're going to have fun at this tournament. You're not expecting to win it, but there's a possibility for you to win it if you're drawing, you know, if you're high rolling this tournament and you're just going against decent matchups. And again, it always depends on what your locals is like. Like, if your locals doesn't play any of these S tier or A tier decks, then yeah, obviously the B tier stuff can win if there's no S tier or A tier decks to worry about. Or if you have A tier decks and no S tier decks, and the people running the A tier decks are kind of, you know, not the best players, right? As far as the top of this tier goes, probably Luffy just by default being red. Same with Ace. I think Black Yellow Linlin is close there. Hody Jones is up there. All of these guys you see, it's hard to put this one in any order because I'd put Rebecca in front of Croc currently, and that's probably it. Again, I don't know. It's hard for me to say, but this is roughly the way I see it, with no exact positioning, but something along these lines probably. Okay, then the casual stuff, very casual here. These I feel like B and C are just so close. They probably could just be one tier, one massive tier of, like, you know, I probably should have done only 4 tiers, guys, where it's just you have the absolute top tier S tier decks, then you have the decks that can compete against them, but they're kind of lacking in one way or another, and then you have the entire rest of the field down here for Brave and Casual, and then the decks you just probably should not play under any circumstance. Okay, but I'll go through it anyway. I think Blurple Kaido is probably the top of this one. Black Lucci coming in close. Same thing with Dofi. Same thing with Red Green Law. They're probably right in here somewhere. Isho, I think, has potential. I'll put Red Purple Uda at the end here. Blue Ivankov probably right ahead, somewhere in between the two black decks here, Lucci and Isho. Kuro is fine there. Bello Betty actually should be closer to the top of this list. I think Lucci is somewhere in the middle of it. Red Purple Kid, Yellow Yamato. Yamato probably can get in the middle here as well somewhere, and then the rest is fine as is with Z and Uda. And then, of course, with Adult, who cares where these go? They're all at the very bottom of the tier here. So watch, there's probably going to be a few people out there who are like, no, Magellan's like my favorite deck. It's like a sleeper right now. Or Red Green Luffy is going to be better in OP07. And hey, I get that. But currently, at the time of things in the game, I do think this is roughly where it is. And y'all bear with me, guys. I think I nailed A tier and S tier. If you have S tier and A tier, I mean, I said it backwards. If you have any discrepancy against these, y'all tell me in the comment section below. Because I can understand people saying, like, oh, Red Purple Luffy, Red Newgate, and Purple Kaido, those can go down a tier. You can say that if you want to. But I think these are still at least pretty decent representations of where they should be at. Okay, now, just a little sneak peek into OP07, EB01, and ST13. This is how I think things will change. I think Red-Green Odin, let me keep moving up because I don't have enough space. I think that goes into the ambitious tier, where I think this deck is probably going to be pretty decent when it comes out. And well, not just when it comes out, excuse me. Once it gets to OP07, it might be closer to the top of Brave, but at the same time, I think it can probably make a few waves here. Now, same thing with what's his name here, Dr. Vegapunk. We'll have to see with him. I'm going to put him in the middle for now. I'll even put him up here with Odin, because I'm not sure how he's going to do. He might go up, he might go down. I've seen games on Eastern content creators, on YouTube, where this deck either gets run over or it just runs someone else over. It just stabilizes really strong. Dragon, I'm going to do the same thing, guys. I'm sorry. I need to see more from him. Maybe I'll put him over here, like at the end of Ambitious, top of Brave kind of thing, because we have seen some tournaments win with this leader. Blue Yellow Ace, I'm going to put this right in the middle as well. I don't think this is as good as the others, but we'll see. Now Boa, let me move up. I think this is definitely in this category of Ambitious and probably on the verge of Sweaty. I'll come back to this in a second. Now Bonnie, sorry guys, I got to move all the way up with these. Bonnie is all the way up in the Sweaty tier. I'm going to go over them again in a second, guys. That's what I should do. Let me put them where I want them first, at the top of each one of their tiers, and then I can move them around accordingly, and we'll talk about them like that, so it's easier for me to find them. Red Yellow Sabo, let me put him, I think this is definitely on the Ambitious side. This guy I'm going to put right here. The Foxy, that is. This Luffy's going right up here to the top. Black Yellow Luffy, or Black Yellow Kairos, I just did a video on him. I think he's going to be able to, I think he's pretty interesting. I'll talk about in a second. I don't think Hannibal has it. I don't think he's going to be able to do it. But Lucci, you're on straight up to the top. Okay. So here you go, guys. Let me zoom out where you can at least see the whole thing now. This is pretty much where I have it. I'm sorry, I don't know why this doesn't extend out further. Like, I don't know why this page doesn't extend out more. Will it let me stretch these? No, it doesn't let me like grab the edges or anything like that. Oh well, it is what it is. So once OP07 comes out, Black Yellow Luffy has like everything it needs at that point to compete at the highest level. It's going to be an S tier deck. Same thing with Lucci. And in fact, it'll probably move some of these cards down, because obviously Blue Black Sakazuki will just disappear, and then everything else probably stays around the same. Katakuri might drop down a notch because NL just ends up winning out in the end there. But these first three here that I have on under the Sweaty category, Luffy, Lucci, and Jewelry Bonnie, these become S tier decks. So something to look forward to. If you're trying to build these decks beforehand, you might want to start building them now, so that way you can however you say it, you can actually have the deck made whenever they come out, if you get all the cards that are out currently. Now for the A tier, I think there's 3 decks that come in from EB01, ST, and OP07, the ST13 and OP07 stuff. I think Dragon, Sabo, and Boa Hancock are all going to be A tier decks. Boa Hancock might be S tier. We'll have to see what happens in the first few tournaments. But these first 3 right here, I think a lot of people are sleeping on Sabo. I posted a list the other day from a Eastern, a list from someone from the East, right? So one of the content creators from the East, and they had Sabo's like D tier, like don't even play it. And it's like, I don't know. I think Sabo's better than that. That's all I'm going to say. From my current experience with the deck, and it is limited. We're not in their meta yet. We have to wait. But from my experience with the deck, Red Yellow Sabo absolutely pumps. It has ways to gain life, to go more mid-range against decks that you can't beat fast enough. It has ways to go to the late game because of the life game with Kikanojo and Momonosuke. And then if you're playing against a deck that wants to race you, it can race. Because it's going to run the red 5-cost Luffys, the yellow 5-cost Aces, and the ways to cheat them into play from life with the 2-cost characters. I think that deck is so strong. We'll have to see. I don't know. Maybe I'm coping or something, but I think this deck is very powerful. Dragon and Boa, we're going to have to see how those do in the first few tournaments. I think they both have a pretty good amount of potential, though. Okay, then we get down to here. I have like 5 decks from the new stuff that we don't have yet down here in the average area. I've seen Ace do well recently. I have seen it, a first place list from it from like a 4 or a 5 round tournament where it went 4-0 or 5-0, whatever it was. Foxy, I haven't seen anything on yet. This probably should go down under casual. I'm going to drop that right now. Red-green Odin, I think, is... Man, it's like it's missing one card, and if it gets it, it's going to shoot straight to Sweaty. Excuse me, but we'll have to see how this plays out. Black-yellow Kairos I played the other day, guys, and I made a whole video on it just yesterday. He's pretty good. I have the same feeling for Black-yellow Kairos as I do for blue-green Sanji, where it's like in the right hands, you know, it's actually a very good leader. Very hard to play. Very hard to play correctly. A lot of skill involved, a lot of sequencing going on, but it has a lot of potential. Vegapunk, same idea. This probably could be under the ambitious category, but I think this deck will just struggle immensely against the heavy aggro decks. And we'll have to see. We'll have to see what goes on there. But I don't know. I can't imagine it doing very well against a deck like, you know, Red Purple Law. Because as we get to the next tier, you know, as we get to OP07, Red Purple Law moves straight up to the top here. So, you know, it is what it is. And I think that's it for that one. And then finally, these last two here, Hannibal and Foxy. I haven't seen a lot of decks highlighting Foxy or Hannibal. I've seen a few, and sometimes they win, sometimes they don't. We'll have to see how consistent these are to make it into the top tables. But yeah, there you go, guys. This is really, like what you see on the page here, this is really the list that I think, you know, just A, B, and C. Anything below this I just don't find as competitive at all. It's more casual, just don't do it kind of thing. But this is ultimately where I see the game right here. What you see on the screen. Right, guys, that was my first time doing one of these lists, one of these tier lists. So please do not forget to, you know, tell me what you think down in the comment section below, if you liked it or not, which cards you disagree with. And remember, guys, mainly it's OP06. We're not talking about EB01, ST13, or OP07 yet. The back of the list here, like the back of the video, yes, I did go over those, but I'm really more focused on OP06 currently, the list we did before. All right, well, that's it, guys. I hope y'all enjoyed. Please don't forget to like and subscribe if you've not already. And until next time, guys, peace.